And you might be thinking, what kind of house has a tower right next to it? Okay, you silly goof. What kind of medieval family? I'll get into that. That's because the father has a unique job. So as you go into here, you see 3 beds. Mom is in the middle and with the 2 kids. You might be thinking, where's the father sleeping? Well, he's gonna be sleeping right there for reasons that I'll describe later on. No, actually, I'll just describe it now. That's because obviously if you have, I'd imagine it's better if you're sleeping next to your mother, cozier stuff, softer, and especially if you're like a medieval family. I don't know, I'd imagine the kids would want to sleep with their mom rather than their dad. Hey, they can reverse roles, it's up to them. And I've put a door here. Now, initially, when I built this place, there was not going to be a door, right? I'll tell you why. Now, let's hypothetically say that the mom wants to be freaky, get freaky with the dad. But obviously, there's 2 kids sleeping right here. How the hell are you gonna get freaky? How are you gonna get freaky with dad, with your husband? Sorry, I'm trying to it's kind of difficult for me to put myself in her shoes. How the hell are you gonna go to the dad and get freaky? And I'll tell you how. There's a door. She goes in, locks the door, gets freaky with the dad. Yeah, anyways, so I want to describe the mom a bit and her personality traits in this house. Because obviously when I'm building stuff, I like to put lore into it and, describe their personality as much as possible. So I'm going to do that. The mom is she loves, God, what is it called again? Not vegetables, but just greenery in general. She loves, I gotta search this up. Hold on. Creeper just blows all over my face. Blows all over my face. Plants. Oh my God. How am I lacking common sense? She loves plants, that sort of stuff. And here you have wheat. Not even a farm. You can't even call it. Just a little collection of wheat. That she's later on going to go to this place over here and sell it to them. And I'll explain that more later on. What that building over there is. Now, I mentioned that the dad has some sort of work. And that his job is to wake up everyone else in the morning. So he goes up to this tower, mini tower over here. Just blows one of those thingies, whatever they're called, that wake people up and they're sort of very loud. So yeah, that's the lore of this building, I really love building lore because I'm a terrible builder. And whenever, I give these people personality traits, the buildings automatically start having more, I suppose, life to them, Because obviously you don't want to just build a box with a tower on, with a gable on top of it. You want to make some sort of small features that give it life. So yeah. All right, this huge ass building right here is a local, God, what is it? A communal. Wait, I gotta search stuff again. Obviously not a bakery. That's not what it is. Is it a can I just call it a bakery? Communal oven, maybe? Yeah, I suppose communal bakery. Let's just go with that. Communal bakery. I suppose that makes sense. But I don't know if it's a bakery because you make bread. Do you bake bread or do you make... well, in any case, this is sort of communal. People come in here, they order their bread. Now, one guy has to sit right here next to the oven and he gets the dough. They are already formed, but his job is to basically put it in the oven with a sort of shovel. The same way how you make actual pizza. He does that and he bakes the bread and he gives it to the customer. Maybe here. Maybe this is where the transaction happens. I'd assume that makes sense. Oh shit, sorry, I accidentally hit the mic. But that makes sense. And as for these 2 small rooms here, I'll explain. So each of them here, they sort of... I'd imagine that the guy here, he forms the dough itself. Not forms. He makes the dough. So he has this sort of bowl here that he puts all of the dough into. Maybe he even forms some of them himself, but then he later on gives it to this fella over here who forms, who basically forms the bread itself. Not the dough, but I think you get it. Whenever you bake something, you have to sort of form it into these little circles or whatever else it is that you're making. But this communal bakery is obviously funded by sort of noblemen as well. So this right here is where they bake cakes and stuff like that. And usually it is the ultra rich who get to enthuse this sort of service because, it costs a lot more money to bake bread, I guess. So that's interesting. This right here is sort of very abstractly supposed to represent flower. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could design it better, but honestly, I tried a lot and this is the best that I could came up with. So yeah, that's all I have to show you guys here. And here we have when you come out here, we have extra supply of coal, and these are supposed to represent the barrels. Now obviously you guys who played the new Java versions and new Bedrock versions, that you guys have barrels, so you don't have to make this weird stuff right here, but I have to. Sort of abstractly represents barrels. There's obviously some wheat blocks here. I'll get into that as well soon. So, but there's a bit more that I want to show you guys. So all the way back here, we have the storage room, I suppose you could call it. Extra coal here. This chest, wait, I remember it had a very specific purpose. No, I swear to God, I remember. I think it wasn't flour. It was more than that. Wheat, I think. This is where they stored the wheat that they got. And you might be thinking, this is a bakery. Why would they get wheat? They would need to get flour directly. And I'll get into that soon, okay? I'll get it. Trust me. Trust me, bro. Go down here. They have, this is where they get their supply of water in order to make the dough itself. And also, I'd imagine that in this chest up here, they also have salt and other stuff to kind of season their bread, I'd guess. But if you look into it, there's basically nothing in it. It's tragic. What else? Obviously, extra coal right here. Now, what it is that I want to get the entire building, that's all I had to show you guys, really. I can show you guys what the storage room looks like from the outside. This is what it looks like. Very nice. Actually, thus far, this is like the best building that I have ever made. Took me a shit ton of time, and I only had iron tool as well to make this. But yeah, this one looks very nice. I'm proud of it, if I do say so myself. I was talking about how they have wheat in this building, which obviously doesn't make sense. If your job is to bake bread, you would need flour. You have nothing to do. What are you supposed to do with wheat? Now, remember when I said that this mom right here, she loved farming wheat? And I'd imagine the people in this place that I'm kind of that are supposed to live here, they are all allowed to. During medieval times, a lot of people produced stuff locally. Like, they produced a lot of things locally. They didn't rely on communal stuff as much. So if everybody is allowed to sort of have wheat farms, mini wheat farms in their house, obviously they're gonna benefit from it somehow, and then they can come to these guys and they're gonna sell it to the bakery, communal bakery thingy, and then they're gonna sell it to the guys who need wheat, which is right over there. And I'm not finished. I'm going to build more of those windmills. No, that's not what they're called. They're called something else, but I'm going to build more of those things as well. Did I take a bed with me? I didn't take a... golly gee willikers. Excuse me. One is a dude and one is a bro. I take 2 loads, one in my ass and one in my throat. Think I need 2 more. Fucking is ring, ring, ring. Alright, now that I have a bed with me, I don't have to worry about nighttime. And future me is gonna make a cut here, all the way to the windmill. That's not what it's called, but I'm not gonna search it up because I'm too lazy. I wonder if I'm gonna make the cut now. Oh, hello. Am I gonna make the cut now? Or am I gonna... I wonder what the future me is gonna do. He's probably gonna make a cut. Yeah, you're gonna make a cut. He is not making a cut, is he? I don't know. We'll see. All right, this is the windmill. If you have ever searched up an image of an actual windmill, they have this sort of... Fuck off. Fucking dog. Sort of have these balconies. That's not what it's called. Something similar to that. I don't know why they make those, but I actually do know. No, I'm suspecting the reason as to why they make these balconies is because so that people don't accidentally hit the windmill, you know? Or if the windmill falls down, it is less likely to automatically kill someone who's close to the windmill thingy, so they don't die. Believe it or not, inside infrastructure has a lot of lore to it as well. Like, I have a lot to explain. But in order to do that, we'd have to go to the last level. And all the way up here, this is the windmill charge itself. Like, this is the power of the wind. Power of the wind. I'm very good at explaining things. Like, this is where the initial charge comes from, okay? And this right here is the power generator. And this right here is the thing that sort of crushes the wheat and turns it into flour. And down here, as you can see, this is where all the wheat goes into, and they pack them up. That's how they take care of flour, basically. So yeah, the flour goes through here and like woof, woof. As you can tell, I am neurodivergent enough to actually give the inside structure quite a lot of lore, you know? But yeah, I do wonder how many people are going to be working here. I'm assuming only 2 people. Maybe I'm wrong. No, at least 3 people in each of these buildings, because like somebody needs to pack them up. 2 other guys need to get the wheat itself, you know? So it's pretty difficult, I'd imagine. Maybe 4 guys even, to make sure everything is going smoothly. I don't know. I'd imagine 4 guys per building. All right, now that's finished. There's another building that I want to show you guys, and it's this one right here. It's not finished, but it doesn't have much left to be finished. But yeah, I do wonder if I'm going to make a cut or not. I'm probably going to make a cut, aren't I? No, I don't think I am going to make a cut. This building right here, inside of my lore, but no, in lore, it has... Fuck. In the story itself, it has a lot of lore, but for me personally, it has another purpose when I'm playing in this world, and I'll get into that. Now, this building in the story is quite multi-purpose, like is multifaceted. You use it for multiple reasons. So let's say these are made for soldiers who are kind of coming back from all sorts of operations or whatever. And they have anvil here if they need to take care of their weapon a bit more, and a furnace. And I'd imagine they maybe, I don't know what they do with it. I'd imagine they would smelt some sort of ancient ore in order to prepare their sword even more. Prepare their sword even more. And they also place their horses here, give them wheat, you know, all that sort of stuff. That's another reason that I'd imagine they use it for. And I have the reason as to why I haven't placed a door here, and I decided to make like a hold up. Decided to make these staircases leading up is because I believe in the medieval world, if you had people attacking you, it would be a lot more difficult for them to sort of come up, you know? If you make it as difficult as possible, the better. You know, if they have to come up these staircases and you have the high ground on them, is usually better. I'd imagine that's why. But then again, that doesn't make any sense because you have a window up there. The reason as to why they decided to design it like this is because to make, just in the worst case scenario, even though they themselves know it's quite unlikely for enemies to come here because this is all the way inside the town itself, it is best to kind of make it a little bit more difficult for soldiers to come in, you know? Alright, going all the way down here, we have furnaces where they make food, I'd imagine. And I'm not finished because I need to place down some beds down here as well as up here, so they get the chance to sort of get some rest. I haven't done that yet though. And all the way up here, they get this nice view of the town, you know, in case if they need to give intel to the higher ups of the feudal society, you know, if anything is going wrong. So that's why I'd imagine they need a good view from up here. I'm gonna be a little honest, I recorded all of this when I made this building, and I wasn't really giving it a lot of lore, but I think it was right after this building that I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do something that the little me used to do as a kid, was giving buildings lore. But this one doesn't have a lot, you know, but it has some. Okay, it has some. Actually, in the video when I was recording this, I can't even speak. What's wrong? Why am I so neurodivergent? In the video when I was recording, I only made the tower and this place wasn't finished yet. It's still not fully finished because I need some dirt. Hold up. I need 1, 2, 3, 4 dirt blocks. Other than that, it's kind of finished. But yeah, this location here wasn't finished. And as I was making this place, I thought, yeah, this is gonna be for small, minor military operations. That's what it's gonna be used for the most part. But yeah, this tower over here is quite new. Now, before I introduce that tower, I would need to introduce the mines of this small town. So you might be wondering, what is this? Why did I decide to make a small building right next to the mine itself, which I haven't really fully finished from the outside? You go inside of here. Now, inside of the lore, this is sort of this is a small small building meant for mapping out the map. But also, if you are a miner, you might come here and take a little break. I know what you're thinking, having medieval miners, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, it is. I think, wait, didn't we have medieval? Yeah, we did have medieval miners. I love miners. Miners. You know, sorry, that wasn't funny. I'll show the actual clip so that you guys know what I'm referring to.
Okay, miner. I love miners. Miners. I love the miners. Please give me miner. I love the Mega Knight as well, but not for this video.
By miners, I mean people who mine in the mines, not underage children. Do you understand, YouTube? Okay, good. If we go down all the way here, see a lot of chests. Okay, obviously in the lore, inside of the story, they put all of their ores here, kind of the same reason as me. I've also stored some goodies here, such as powered rail and rail, because I do use rails. Because in this old version, rails and minecarts are actually useful. Right here, they sort of plan out things together, the miners, and what they're supposed to do, what sort of task each one of them has. And here they have all of the furnaces. As you might have realized by now, I like making buildings that are multifaceted, or no, are made for multiple purposes. Now, usually you'd imagine that if their job is to collect all of the ores, they wouldn't need to smelt it. But they do also partially smelt it, but they don't smelt all of it, okay? They smelt as much as they can, and they give the rest of it to, to the other buildings that I haven't made yet. And they're going to, you know, kind of sort of take care of the ores and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd imagine this is also beneficial. Like, if you are a highly feudalistic... Wait, why am I so close to my mic? I hope you guys haven't been getting I can't say the air rappered since I'm talking so close to the mic. I'd imagine if you're a highly feudal, you know, somewhat of a feudalistic society, somewhat, maybe not fully, because believe it or not, I have some actual lore for this empire that I'm building. They're not really feudalistic, as feudalistic as you might think. I'll get into that way, but I'm just thinking, you know, if you want to be as sufficient as possible, having multifaceted buildings wouldn't hurt. Like, kind of outsourcing certain tasks to other people wouldn't be bad. Sort of the same way how you wouldn't mind people locally producing wheat and selling it to the folks that be taking care of the flour. Feel me, Holmes? Here are the mines. I have placed down some logs here, you know, to kind of make it look like a mine. All that sweet stuff. As you go deeper and deeper, you'll see I haven't done as much. But I did make a railway system that leads to another tower, which would be this tower. I'm not talking about this tower, but that tower all the way over there. And I'll explain why these two towers are close to the mines. No, actually, I'll explain it now. Now, believe it or not, these two towers over here are they're somewhat they rely on each other quite a lot. Now, let's say hypothetically you have a lot of miners. A lot of miners. You have miners that need to go to that side, which is also another mine. You know, they're deeply interconnected. Okay, this side of the town and that other side. No, they're not the same town, or maybe they are. I haven't decided yet. This town and that town over there are somewhat connected, and they need some form of communication. Now, naturally, you'd assume the best form of communication would be to just use the same minecarts in case if they need to talk about something. Oh, somebody died here, something has gone terribly wrong, or I don't know, whatever the hell it is that they need to communicate about. You'd assume naturally that it's best to use the minecarts. But in this universe of mine, in this world that I'm building, they have these highly intelligent birds that they rely on. I don't know what they're called yet, but I'm gonna name them something sick. Like, they rely on these birds that be flying from here all the way to over there, or the other way around to that other tower, and then they send letters to each other because these birds are quite fast. Like, the minecarts are fast as well, but these birds are a lot faster, you know? Like, I'd imagine if you were building an empire that relies on powered rails a lot more, maybe then they wouldn't need these birds. I'm the biggest bird. But like in this one, they use birds and they feed the birds. And the birds fly over there and they sort of communicate with each other. Speaking of towers, let's go to that other tower. And I'm going to use the minecart system, obviously. Although I could use a boat, but I just want to show you guys the minecart. and stuff like that. I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird. As I have alluded to before, maps are quite useful in this version because coordinates are not a thing. So you will be heavily relying on maps. Like, that got me wondering, why are coordinates even a thing in modern versions of Minecraft? Because like, maps are basically useless. What are you going to use maps for? That's sort of the advantage with this old, terrible version of Minecraft Bedrock, is that maps actually have some sort of value, you know? You're not terrible. Like, if I were to die and I had my map in my inventory and I died inside of lava, I would be thinking, God damn, bro. Now I have to make an entirely new map. But in any case, this is another mine. No, a cave that I haven't really... I need to start constructing stuff here as well, but I'm not even finished with the one in the original town. So, yeah. Oh, wait, which way did I come from? Was it this? Yeah. Yeah, that's all I had to say regarding maps. Like, I don't understand why these cooler, newer versions... I mean, actually, it should be something that's up to the player. Loki, I'm wrong. Like, it should be up to you. They shouldn't delete it. It should be up to you if you want to rely on coordinates. I'm just saying, don't blame Mojang for, oh, maps are useless. I'm pretty sure nobody's saying that. I'm just making enemies in my own head. But, you know, if you are one of those people in my head, like, don't be blaming Mojang. Because obviously, it is your fault for using coordinates. Oh, maps are useless. They're not useless. I'm pretty sure that person doesn't exist. And I'm just sort of fighting with myself here. Because I'm a deeply sick individual. But in case if you do exist, you are wrong. It's not Mojang's fault. You should stop using coordinates, buddy. Alright, this is sort of another small mini cave that I haven't really built anything on. It's not somewhere that you're supposed to mine. Because obviously it's not a deep, intricate cave. Or maybe it is. Oh, it is. I just haven't... Yeah, it is a place that miners meet. I love miners. Actually need to sort of make a hole here that indicates, oh, this leads to a mine. I need to do the same thing with my other town. Like, sort of make something. Kind of, you know how in Clash of Clans, when you built mines, you would see the rails coming up and down, like some sort of structure like that indicates, oh, this is a mine. I actually remember building stuff like that as a kid. Like, I really loved the idea of having this sort of you know, in Clash of Clans you obviously need them to have gold, but I just love the idea of, oh, this small building or whatever structure or whatever you want to call it, so is supposed to represent a mine, you know? But I am definitely gonna make something like that. In any case, let's go into this tower right here. Now, obviously, I haven't really given the inside of the building that much lore yet because I made this yesterday. But as any other building is going to be used for multiple purposes. One of them, as I have already mentioned, is going to be communication between them and the other town over there. Okay, so, but I think I'm planning on making a whole, the place where sailors meet. I'm not searching it up. Fuck you. I'm not doing this shit. Where sailors meet up and they sort of plan stuff. I might do that, since it's so close to the beach. But it's also somewhere where the miners get letters from the other side. And I'm sort of gonna make another building here. Maybe one guy all the way from up there gets the letter. He goes all the way down and gives it to the miners. Guys, I got letters from you, from that town over there. And then they start communicating with one another. And oh, golly gee willikers, Williams died to a TNT, you know? That sort of shenanigan. But yeah, man. Let's go inside of the building, you know, or the other floors. This is just a staircase leading all the way down. What I like about the staircase that I've made is like this right here. Looks very cool, in my opinion. And over here is another staircase. Looks very cool, in my opinion. This is pretty cool, obviously, in my opinion. Going up here, we have a mini balcony here, in case if anyone wants to look outside, you know. Actually, remember the guy from over there? I said, oh, his job is to wake up everyone else. Maybe he has like a similar task, like to kind of alert everyone if something's going wrong, you know? To kind of communicate with the folks down there who might be sailors or miners. This floor right here leads to another balcony. I don't know why. I think it's mostly for decoration because initially when I was building this, the shape of this building was very simple, like of this tower. It was just a rectangle. Like it wasn't anything... like if you want to make a good structure in Minecraft, usually you don't want to just rely on rectangles. You might want to use rectangles. A part of it is going to be a rectangle. The other part is going to be a circle. That sort of stuff. Even from the very beginning when you're planning out stuff, you want to add different shapes so that it feels a bit more nice. But in my opinion, you shouldn't always rely on that rule, because if you're building something like a tower, you know, you don't want to... Towers are not supposed to feel entirely natural, you know? Sort of like when you're making, let's say... I need to find this word. Hold up. Why? It turns out that the word that I was looking for was statue. Sort of when you're making these statues, for example, the Romans had this weird PP shape. No, it wasn't PP shape, but it was this thing just going up. The Romans had that sort of stuff. They still exist to this day. They're not supposed to feel entirely like natural because it's a building meant for communication, you know? No, not always. But you know, they're not supposed to feel entirely natural. Just fine. Just great. So I didn't add too many other shapes to this building to sort of make it feel intricate and nice. Unlike that bakery over there. Like if you analyze it, if you look at it from here, you can see it had a bunch of other rectangles, you know, right next to it. They're almost circular shapes, you know? It was intricate. Like, it wasn't just one singular rectangle, for example. But in this case, I didn't rely on that. So, in order to make it feel less empty, you have to rely on a lot of decoration, balcony, that sort of stuff, you know? But wait, actually, there was... Yeah, and right here, this is not a balcony, but this leads to the second... balcony down here. I don't know why you would use it, but you might use it for something. But obviously in terms of decoration, it makes it feel less empty. And here they get the message, the birds fly back. I need to make something to sort of indicate there are birds here as well. Because I'd imagine these birds would be pretty busy. There's going to be other towers where they need to communicate, you know. Send mails or, you know, send... Yeah, that. Mails. Whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I think that's basically every build. No, there are 3 other ones that I need to explain, which I also built yesterday. But there's really not a lot to say. I can barely breathe when he's pumping. Oh! Oh! Shit! Oh no, he's in the fucking minecart. Dude, didn't I light up this? No, I actually haven't fully light up. That's kind of my fault. The place is not fully lit up, dude. I don't even know why I'm surprised. This is, by the way, this is not the first time. This happened to me multiple times. Little Queepa. Dude, you just be chilling. I almost shit my pants. I can barely breathe when it's pumping deep inside. Kiss him on his neck and he gon' kiss me on my pussy. On daddy, what? Is that No, I don't think it's copyright claim. Even if it is, I don't have enough watch time to care about copyright. Oh no, my video just got copyright claimed. Like, this video ain't even gonna get 1 million views. What am I supposed to say? Yeah, man, take all of the money. Because I wouldn't be able to earn from it either way. I would need about 1,000 hours on YouTube's in 1 year. You know? I don't even have that. Why should I be worried? In any case, I should probably go to sleep. Now, as I've said, I am not gonna go into details into how this society that I'm building works, but I'm using the term noblemen very, very loosely here because they're not noblemen in the feudalistic sense, but they are still in a medieval society. So keep that in mind. Where they live in a medieval era of time. But this place itself that I'm building is not fully medieval. And I might get into that in future videos, you know. I probably should. If it goes incredibly well for this sort of video, I'm probably going to do it. But yeah, this is a place for one guy. He lives here and he sleeps up here. He cooks food, yada yada. And he goes into the main building, which is here, and speaks with the other quote-unquote noblesmen. Not in the traditional sense, but you know, they come into here to the Evil Wizard Tavern, have some beer or whatever, or they communicate on how they're gonna take care of the empire or sort of defend themselves. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna spoil it, obviously. Here we have an anvil. I personally use this inside of the story. This is somewhere where, you know, what are they called? The people who take care of swords and that sort of stuff. I know what they're called, but I don't remember. Inside of the story, honestly, I don't know what this place is supposed to represent, but for me personally, this is where I enchant my stuff, obviously. But I know they're gonna have a purpose. Like the enchanting table is gonna have some sort of purpose, obviously. So yeah, I think that's basically every building. That's the lore of every building and what they're meant for. That place over there is meant for mapping out the mines, or whenever miners want to take a break. Miners. Communication between the two different towns regarding the mines, or maybe even sailors. You get the point. Maybe. I'm not fully sure for this tower. We'll see. Wait, did I go inside of this tower? Yeah, I did do that. Yeah. That is meant for soldiers coming back from main operations. I'd imagine knights mostly, because like if you're like a normal rookie, I don't think you're gonna have the privilege of coming all the way back to your good old town, you know, somewhere where it's chill. I'd imagine the knights have a bit of chill, you know, some nice time there. That's a farm. That's the communal bakery. I think that's what you can call it. That's the house of the family of 4. That's the windmill meant for making wheat. That's about it, honestly. I don't think there's anything else that I need to yap about. If you liked the video, smash that like button, guys. And make sure to subscribe. And hey, if you really enjoyed this video, send it to a friend of yours. As a matter of fact, tell them that I sent you there. In any case, guys, have a great day. Or night, depending the time of the day. Take care. Mwah.